maybe. So if you didn't see my post, I am going live a lot earlier than normal. I am actually getting together with some of my Jewish friends to celebrate Seder this evening. So there was a little bit of a conflict of time, and that's why we're going to go ahead and do this a little bit earlier today. But of course, go ahead and watch this at 8:30 if that's what you need to do to get ready for bed as well. And yeah, so we're doing chapters 6 and 7 tonight, which is the next to last one. Next week, I'm going to read the end of Vidia and the Fairy Crown, and we are going to know what happens. Goodness gracious. And yeah, I'm really excited for that. I also have a question. Rather than bedtime stories, how did you guys feel about wake-up stories? Maybe like around 10 a.m. because I'm a little bit of a late riser, as the case may be. But I thought that might be a good way to just start every day. And we could do it like Monday through Friday instead of just every week on Sunday evenings. So that's an idea that I'm playing with, and let me know what you think of that. Okay. So there's making sure I'm in the right place. Oh no, that's chapter 6. Okay, chapter 6. Fly, Vidia, fly! Prilla called out, and the fastest fast-flying talent fairy in Pixie Hollow rocketed out of Aiden's workshop and zipped toward Twyre's. As she flew, Vidia wondered why she cared so much about saving the queen's crown. So what if I'm too late? So what if that hunk of junk has been melted down, she thought. What do I care? I've already got at least 2 other fairies I can link to the crown's disappearance, Rhea and Aiden. Surely Queen Rhea would not banish her after hearing what Rhea and Aiden had to say. Still, Vidia raced on toward Twyre's workshop. She told herself it was because it would be easier to clear her name if she found the crown. But there was a part of Vidia that actually did care about one of Pixie Hollow's, but was there a part of Vidia that actually did care about one of Pixie Hollow's oldest treasures? Twyre's scrap metal workshop was on the 3rd floor of the home tree. In her rush, Vidia barged through the door without knocking and flew into a set of metal wind chimes that hung from the ceiling. Pring! The wind chimes rang forcefully as Vidia plowed through them across the workshop and startled Twyre, straightening up and took a break from her desk. Dropping bits of scrap aluminum and copper into a large vat of molten metal. Stop! Vidia called out. Stop what you're doing! There's a picture. Twyre took off her sea glass safety goggles and wiped them on her coveralls. What's the matter? She replied in a calm tone, putting the goggles back on. Twyre was the type of fairy who always saw the glass as half full. She found the hope in every situation, even the most dire, the same way she saw beauty in each piece of scrap metal, no matter how twisted or rusted. Twyre had a passion for turning trash into beautiful items. They were all over her workshop. The wind chimes by the door, the flying fairy mobile by the window, the lamp on the workbench. They were all crafted from scrap metal. Twyre also believed that most bad situations could be turned into good situations. So as Vidia began madly sorting through the pile of metal Twyre was melting down, Twyre tried to calm her. Whatever it is, Vidia, I'm happy to help. Just tell me what's going on, Twyre offered. Just then Prilla arrived, slightly out of breath. She watched as Vidia tossed a piece of copper over her shoulder. It landed with a clang on the workshop floor. queen's crown, Vidia snapped. Have you seen it? Twire shook her head. No, Vidia, I haven't, she replied calmly. What makes you think it's here? She turned to Prilla. Hello, Prilla, she said kindly. Are you here with Vidia? Twire looked surprised when Prilla nodded, but didn't say anything. Vidia gave up her search and sighed an annoyed sigh. She impatiently repeated what Aiden had said, that Twire had picked up his scrap metal the day before. Twire nodded. That's right, she said. I pick up Aiden's scrap metal every day. Yesterday I brought it back here, sorted it, and began to melt some pieces down. Prilla watched as Vidia leaned over Twire menacingly. And you're sure you didn't find anything unusual mixed in with the metal? She asked. Think carefully. The crown might have been in a black velvet pouch. At this, Twire started. Velvet? She said, her face brightening. Yes, I did find some velvet in the pile. She smiled and patted Vidia on the back. You see, she said encouragingly, we're on the right track. We'll figure this out. Oh, cut it out, Vidia snapped impatiently. She shook Twire's hand off her back. Just tell me what you did with it. Twire sighed. Vidia was a very negative fairy. Twire flew around the tiny door in the wall at the side of the workshop. Vidia and Prilla followed. Well, I didn't know it was a pouch, Twire explained as she flew. I didn't feel anything inside of it. But Queen Ree's crown is just about the lightest and most delicate thing ever made. That's probably why I thought it was a piece of unwanted fabric. Twire shrugged. I was sure I could use it for something. But it had a few rust stains on it, from being tossed around with the metal. Twire pulled open a small square door in the wall and opened it to a metal chute that dropped down and away into total darkness. I tossed it down the laundry chute with my other laundry, she said. Vidia took off so suddenly, Prilla had to fly her fastest to catch up. So fast, in fact, that when Vidia paused for a moment on the home tree's central staircase between the third and second floors, Prilla bumped into her and fell over backward. Oof! Prilla cried. Watch where you're flying, Vidia shouted. She threw Prilla a dirty look before flying on toward the first floor, where the laundry room was. Prilla followed. Well, she called after Vidia, at least Twire didn't melt down the crown. That's right, snapped Vidia over her shoulder. She didn't melt it down. No such luck. Prilla shook her head as she and Vidia flew into the laundry room. At the bottom of the staircase, they turned down the hall that led to the kitchen, then dodged the cooking, baking, and dishwashing talent fairies. They flew through the kitchen and into another hallway. At the far end was a swinging door with a small round window. Pushing through the door, Vidia and Prilla found themselves in the home tree laundry room. It was a huge room with towering 15-inch ceilings. The whitewashed walls and overhead lights made it seem like the brightest and cleanest room ever. Busy laundry talent fairies and sparrowmen flew this way and that. Some carried baskets of dirty laundry to the rows of washing tubs, where other fairies were scrubbing away. Some pushed balloon carriers, carts kept aloft by fairy dust-filled balloons, full of wet laundry. Still others stood before the long tables folding clean laundry. Hundreds of laundry chutes carried laundry down to the laundry room floor from the workshops and bedrooms on the floors above. The dirty laundry fell into baskets. Each chute was marked with the floor number and room it came from. Vidia and Prilla found a laundry chute labeled 3G. It was the chute that led down from Twire's workshop. A laundry fairy named Limpia was standing under it, sorting through some clothing in a basket. Prilla asked her if she had worked the same chute the day before. When Limpia said yes, Vidia launched into her questioning. Did you find anything unusual? in Twyre's laundry yesterday afternoon, she asked pointedly. What do you mean unusual? Limpia replied. She eyed Vidia suspiciously, like the queen's helper fairies. Limpia didn't trust Vidia. Prilla, what's this about? She asked. We're on the trail of the missing crown, Prilla explained. She gave Limpia a rundown of what they had found out so far. She told her how Rhea had taken the crown to Aiden's workshop and how it had been accidentally picked up by Twyre, and then how Twyre had dropped it down her laundry chute without knowing it. Are you sure you didn't find a black velvet pouch mixed in with Twyre's laundry yesterday? Prilla asked Limpia. Limpia started. Oh, she explained. Well, yes, I did find a velvet something or other. But what does that have to do with anything? Vidia sighed. The crown was inside the pouch, precious, she said, sounding annoyed. Honestly, if anyone had bothered to look inside the thing, I wouldn't be in this mess. Rolling her eyes at Vidia, Limpia turned again to Prilla. I was going through Twyre's laundry, sorting it into lights and darks, she explained. When I found the piece of velvet, I put it aside. It couldn't be washed in the laundry, you see. It had to be cleaned specially. Prilla nodded. That made sense. So where did you put it? Prilla asked. There was a long pause as Limpia thought it over. You know, she said at last. I really couldn't say. Vidia smirked. Well, that's fine, she said in a falsely casual tone. She shrugged. Tomorrow, at my hearing, I'll just say that we traced the crown as far as the laundry room, and then we hit a dead end, because Limpia really couldn't say where she had put Pixie Hollow's most prized possession. Vidia turned as if to fly away. This is a waste of time. Limpia's glow flared. No, wait, she called. Vidia stopped in her tracks and turned around. Let me try to retrace my steps, Limpia suggested to Prilla. Maybe that'll help me remember what happened to the velvet pouch. So, Vidia and Prilla followed her to the balloon carrier storage area. Yesterday afternoon, after I sorted Twyre's laundry, I picked up a balloon carrier and put the laundry inside. She pulled out one of the carriers to show them. The light clothes were in one basket, the darks were in another basket. I had laid the velvet pouch on the bottom of the carrier. They followed her as she pushed the balloon carrier over to the wash tubs. Then I put Twyre's lights in the wash. Limpia went on. I left the basket by the tubs. They followed her to the sinks. Here I scrubbed down some of the stains on one of the darks. They followed her back to the wash tubs. I put Twyre's darks in the water. I left the basket in front of the tub while I cleaned them. They followed her to the balloon carrier storage area. Then I brought the balloon carrier back here, said Limpia. She tied up the one that she had borrowed again, and I took a break to wash while the wash was soaking. Limpia put her hand on her forehead. I guess I forgot to take the velvet pouch out of the carrier before I returned it, she said sheepishly. And that is the end of chapter 7. So, next week is going to be chapters 8, 9, and 10. And we will find out what happened to Queen Rhee's fairy crown. So, I'll see you then. And like I said, let me know what you think about wake-up stories instead of bedtime stories, because I'm thinking that might be something that's good. So, I'll see you later.